Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie, I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is November 19th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I would also love to welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room. You can find us over at 12radio.com. That's number2radio.com. And click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. You'll see my banner at the top of the page. That's the place to ask for a reading or add to the conversation. But I am also live streaming this event from the chat room, and so you can find the video there if you'd rather watch than just listen. So, that's a mouthful. If you would like to watch the live stream later on, you will also find it uploaded over on YouTube and on Katie Weaver. At Domestic Mystic on YouTube. So that's the way to find it. So that's what's up. It is going to be a fun show. I've got some neat stuff to share. I've got some cool things to talk about. It's going to be a good day. It is a good day. It's kind of a itchy week, meaning people feel a little out of sorts right now. People are feeling a little prickly this week. It's not all bad. It's not. But there is a level of that we just all have to navigate through. Meaning, if the teller is bitchy to you, if the clerk at the grocery store isn't very friendly, don't take it personally. She's just not feeling it, right? We've all had those moments. That's just kind of where we are. So, it's okay. I promise. I think it is. Okay. Oh, where do we start? All right. Well, oh my goodness. We're going to start with a pig getting into my stuff here in my office. Most of you guys know I have mini pigs, and currently I'm going to have to ask my producer to come and save me because, well, his pig's getting into my business. He can come do that, and I can keep on talking. There's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I haven't done it, and I've kind of hedged around on it, and I finally realized that I really need to do this thing. So something I've been thinking about doing for a while now is having some kind of a little podcast or video cast on Sunday mornings. Especially since the Psychic Sisters ended, I feel like, I do radio on Monday and Tuesdays, and then I'm out for the rest of the time and the rest of the week. And I don't know, I've just been feeling like Sundays is where it's at. I used to teach on Sunday mornings quite a bit, and I really loved that. And I'm just thinking that's what I want to do. So I was throwing some ideas around with my sisters and with Kelly McLean, because frankly, I always throw ideas around with all of those three because they have great ideas. And sometimes they give me a reality check too if I'm way off target. But we had talked about what my basic motivation was. And my motivation was that it seems to me like we are in a place right now where maybe we need something. So many of us were raised in religion, right? And we went to church on Sunday mornings, and it's all fine and good. And a lot of us don't do that anymore, and that's fine. But are you missing something? Are you missing out on just, I'm going to use a very churchy word, some kind of spiritual edification or just some kind of community? To me, that's what church was about for me, right? Community, spiritual edification, opportunities to be around people that I cared about. That's where it was at. But I'm not going to church. And because organized religion is not my jam. If it's yours, it's fine. Don't let me hurt you. That's not, my intention. But for me, it's just not where I'm at. And I think a lot of you guys are kind of in that same place. So that's a long and winding road to where I'm trying to get. But I'm going to start a video cast on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific. So that'll be 10 a.m. At my house. And that'll be, noon on the East Coast. It will be 20 minutes long. It's called Church for the Rest of Us. #unchurching. That's what my thought was. I have friends that homeschool that are offering this kind of oh, I don't know what you call it. Well, they call it unschooling, where basically rather than focus on everything, they are letting their kids most primarily study subjects that they're interested in. And I'm not saying I'm all for unschooling. I'm actually not. Kids still have to learn some basic stuff, and I'm not here to argue homeschooling in any way. But the theory of homeschooling started making me think about, what about unchurching? What about some kind of gathering, spiritual gathering, that has nothing to do with religion? What if it was just about kindness and service and good news and happy stories and joyful moments and upliftment and community and supporting each other? And what would that look like? And what would that feel like? So that's what we're building. So it's church for the rest of us. I would love to see you there. I'm going to live stream it from my Facebook page, my fan page, which is Katie Weaver on Facebook. I'm also going to live stream it from my YouTube channel, Domestic Mystic, and I will live stream it from Domestic Mystic on Instagram. So there'll be 3 ways to come and watch. It's easy enough. Of course, those will be there long after the actual, the videos will always stay. So if you want to come back and watch them later, you're more than welcome to. That's just kind of how that works. But at any rate, if you're interested, come and play. Let's see how it plays out. It's not religious, far from it. It's just about the kind of energy I think we all just kind of want to play in. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm working on. Okay. I also finally did something that I've thought about doing for a long time, and that is open an Etsy store. You guys know that I just cannot quit creating and creating and creating. It's just a big part of my, what do I say? It's just a part of my process. I feel like I always need to be creating something, and I need a conduit for that that's been a little better than what I've been doing. So I finally made an Etsy store, and it is Joyful Goddess Designs over on Etsy. So I'm going to share it in the chat room too. If you're interested, you can go check it out. There's just a couple of things there now, but there's a lot of resin art coming. So that's what I've been working on. I have a little show and tell for you. You guys know that I was working on this big sphere. So she's finally done. And this is what she looks like. She's about the size of a softball. The purpose of this, she's a charm. She's a love charm. So she has a rose quartz wand that runs all the way through her that is wrapped in copper, and it's also full of copper chips. So that's the organite piece. You have the copper, you have the rose quartz, and it's actually rose quartz tipped in fluorite, but the fluorite was less significant to this project, of course, than the rose quartz was. But you have the combination of the fluorite and of the copper, and the combination of those two creates this amazing energy, this creation of, when you suspend crystal and metal in resin together, it creates the pressure needed to amplify the properties of the crystal, and so it becomes a huge energy transmitter. So think about taking this sphere and charging this crystal with your intentions, right? With your intentions around love, and then letting the organite go to work. So I thought that theory was really interesting as far as organized is concerned, and that we could be using that in the sense of manifesting very specifically. But as many of you guys know, I'm a big fan of plant magic. So I got to thinking, what if we could combine plant magic with crystal magic, with metals, and the theories of organite, and create something in the process, right? Okay, so this is what I did. So this was the first go, and she's full of roses. So hopefully, I think in the video you can see that pretty well, but she's full of roses all the way around the crystal. So this is a love charm. So she'll be for sale over on my Etsy later today. I didn't quite get her posted this morning because I was publishing Luminous, but that's okay. It's all's well that ends well. So if you're interested in her, that's where you'll find her posted. But yeah, she is absolutely stunning, so powerful. My sister Kara was here yesterday, And I had her sitting on the table on a stand, the kitchen table, and she picked her up and said, "Oh my God, what did you do to this?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "The energy in this is insane." And I was like, totally. So of course that brought my wheels spinning a little bit further into what else could we create? What other kinds of charms could we create? Oh, Linda, she wanted to know, sorry guys, what my Etsy store name is. It is Joyful Goddess Designs. Joyful Goddess Designs. And you'll keep seeing my resin art show up over there because I'm having a ball with it. So I got to thinking about that in the capacity of, all right, so a love charm, that's pretty cut and dried, right? That's pretty easy. What else? What other charms can we make? What else can we do, right? So I did make a smaller love charm. I wanted to show that to you as well. So I have some of these guys that are just a single rose, and they have Muakkite jasper and brass in them. They're a little bit different. They're littler, but they're absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So then I made one for my son for good luck and abundance. This is the kid that plays football that, you know, they're headed to nationals finally. Their first nationals game, their first national playoff game is on Saturday at their house. So it's very exciting and fun stuff. But I thought, and it's the end of the semester. So of course he's like crazy stressed, and football is really intense right now. And, you know, he's handling it like almost 20-year-old would, with, you know, an extreme amount of putting things off and, you know, lamenting. So I made him a sphere this size, so 50 millimeters. They're about the size of a golf ball, a little bit bigger, and bigger than a golf ball, I'm hearing. Okay, but anyway. So I made him a sphere this size with the intention of it holding intention for good luck and abundance. So I put within it brass first, and then a layer of lapis, and then a layer of citrine, and then crushed mint, because mint helps to attract money, and then a layer of crushed rosemary, because rosemary enhances everything else you do, a lot the way the Organite theory does. And then I put these awesome purple flowers in it that are meant to attract abundance. And if I could think of the name of it right now, I would tell you. I'll have to tell you on a later date because brain fog. But anyhow, it was gorgeous. And then I gave it to him without taking one picture. So I'm going to have to get some pictures from him and make a few more of them. So I'm thinking about, I think we'll make love charms. We'll make abundance charms. I think we'll make protection charms. I think we'll make intuition charms. Maybe we'll make angel charms. What else? I don't know. If you can think of a charm that you would like, maybe creativity charms. If you can think of a charm that you would like to see or that you think would be interesting, throw it up in the chat room. I'm definitely listening. But I'm going to have a whole line of charms that are made in this theory. So they'll have, of course, the Organite theory with metal, crystal, and then flower or plant magic as well, all in the sphere, so that they are going to last forever, as long as you don't drop it down the stairs, or maybe even if you do. Yep, that is where it's at. So that's what I've been working on. A lot of fun stuff. The resin is fun. I did a little reading and discovered that I am a fool for working with resin without some protective gear, so I did that. Healing charms. Thank you, Quelly. That's a good idea. Yeah. Anyway, so now I have a respirator when I pour resin, which is what I should have had all along, I'm sure. And I look a little, you know, like an alien, but that's okay. It's safer. Anyhow, pretty fun stuff. So that's what's been going on in my world. My wheels are turning like crazy. This is a creative time of year for me. It always is. This is when I have done most of my books, done most of my cards. A lot of stuff comes through me this time of year. So it's not a big surprise for me that I'm feeling like I'm on fire creatively, but it's a little different than it normally is. So it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Anyhow. So I'm glad to see you guys all here in the chat room with me, because today is that show where I'm going to read for you from all of the different decks out of all of the peeps I love. They're all our 1-2 people and Christy. I don't like saying it like that. I'm just going to include her in 1-2 people. Fair? Fair. All right. So I'm going to read for you from the Kindred Spirit Energy Oracle deck. I'm going to read from Kelly's original, or first edition, Sweary Spirituality. I have purchased her second deck. I can't wait to get it. It gets right mixed in with the first deck and you just use them all together. So I think that's going to be super fun. But for today, we'll stick with the first round. I'm going to use Mo Tarot. If you guys have ever seen Mo Tarot, it's pretty fun. Mo drew every single bit of all of his cards. He did all of the art, and it's just, it blows my mind. I love it. He did such a great job. And his deck is fun. And a little birdie told me a while ago that he was working on a second round of it. So I hope that comes out at some point because this one is fantastic. Pardon me. Okay. I will read from my deck, the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move deck, the art of which was commissioned by an artist. Because I don't do that. But anyway, we'll read from my deck. And lastly, we will read from Whispers of Love from Angela Hartfield. Angie has a brand new deck coming out too. And I pre-ordered it. I think it comes out by the end of this month. It is Whispers from the Ocean, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So very excited to get that. We'll probably retire Whispers of Love for a while when her new deck comes. But speaking of new things, today is the launch of Melissa Caprio's new book, her Postcards to the Universe book. It's been a long time coming. It's very exciting. I know that Amazon says that mine is out for delivery, so I cannot wait to get my hot little hands on it. If you haven't checked it out, you can find it over at Amazon and I think on Barnes & Noble as well. So I'm going to put a link in the chat room, but you can go to either of those places and just Google it and look for the Postcards to the Universe book. And she has it on Kindle as well as paperback. I had to get a paperback because, well, you know, I want my hands on it. I want to see all of her art and her work. So huge congratulations to Melissa. Melissa, we are absolutely over the moon for you. Excellent job. Hope it's everything you wanted it to be. And I hope today is so much fun watching those orders come in and watching everybody get to start receiving their decks. It's just so much fun stuff. So anyway, that is what's up. All right. For some reason, you guys are coming up with the British site of Etsy. I have no idea why. I don't know what to say. It is, I don't know what to say about that, except for that just head over to Etsy and look for Joyful Goddess Designs. I don't know why you're getting the UK site. That's so weird. Okay, anyway, all right. So that was a huge mouthful, mostly just to say, if you want to have a reading today, please put it up in the chat room. Sorry, I've got everything all twisted up because I got all lost in Etsy and cards and Melissa. Too many rabbit holes to fall down today. Anyway, that's the deal. I'm going to read from all of these decks today. So if you'd like a reading, let me know in the chat room. And when we get to you, I'll decide how many cards to pull, what decks they should come from. I'll just trust my gut and we'll read from those decks. So that's what we're doing today on the show. It should be super fun. We love super fun, right? Okay. Alrighty, well, with all of that being said, let's keep on moving. Let's go take a little look at the magazine. So you guys know that I do publish a magazine that comes out every Tuesday morning. It's a compilation of work between myself and multiple Listen folks. Lots of hard work goes into it and a lot of brilliant stuff comes out of it. I'm blown away every week by stuff I read. So I did call it this week the Dreams Emerging Edition in honor of Melissa and her dream emerging. Pretty cool stuff. My article this week was about unchurch and about my new Sunday morning endeavor, which we've already discussed, so I won't go back there. Kai's article this week is about a snowstorm. I loved it. It sounds a whole lot like what a snowstorm here feels like. So I loved what she had to say about that. And we've had a little snow. I don't know about you guys. The tip of the week: your loved ones in heaven want you to know, I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm right here cheering you on. I hear that in mediumship sessions all the time. You know, they really want to help. They want you to be successful. They want you to be okay. And those are things that they just continually want you to know. We've been through an interesting period this last week. My daughter Mars, my youngest, her best friend's dad died. And it was not unexpected, but that doesn't mean a thing, right? Because it's still just as hard. It still hurts. And I knew she would want to go to the service, but Mars is terribly afraid of viewings of dead bodies. She wouldn't come to any, my parents, my grandma, you know, those were her grandparents. She stayed out in the hall. Many, you know, well-meaning aunts and cousins and whatnot. It was a screaming, you know, kicking fight. People would come through the line and be like, your little girl's really struggling out there. And I'd be like, she's okay. She just doesn't want to come in. And that's okay, you know. But so I said, okay, the viewing. And she said, oh, I'm going to the viewing. She's like, we're going. And I said, you don't do viewings. And she's like, Mom, these are my friends. I have to be there for them. So there's 4 kids in this family, and 2 of them she considers to be her best friends. And the mama is like one of the best people on the planet of Earth. And absolutely the best coach, softball coach I have ever come across. Absolutely love her. So she wanted to be there for him. So we went to the viewing, and it was enormous. What a well-loved family. We waited in line for 2 hours to go through the line. And we're getting closer and closer. We finally get into the actual room where the body, you know, is. And here's Mars. Like, she glanced at me and she said, oh, I saw his hand. And I said, well, yeah, you're going to see like all of him, you know. And I was like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. And she's like, no, Mom, I have to do this. So we had a plan. So when we walked past the body, I walked closest to the casket and she stayed on the outside of me. And she made it through it. She had a moment. I looked at her and she was shaking and looking like maybe she was going to head out of that room. And I went, it's okay. And it's okay if you need to leave. And she's like, no, I have to do this. And by God, she did. So her friends probably have no idea what it took from her to be there with them in that space, because she also conquered a fear of hers that I think long term this will be a good thing for her. Not that I think any of us should have to get super comfortable with hanging out with dead bodies. I'm not. But you know, still though, I was really proud of her for being in that space. She's done a good job of supporting these kids and not ignoring them. You know, she's done a good job of just being available and trying to have, at least not having to have the right thing to say, but just being there. I've been really proud of her. I feel like she's handled it very well. It's a hard thing. It's a tremendously hard thing. But anyway, so that brought up the tip this week, because I was thinking about these kids and how often they're going to need to hear how much their dad loves them, how proud he is of them, and how he is still right there rooting for them. So, darn it, it's life. And life sucks sometimes, you know. It does. It's okay to say it. Life can be damn unfair sometimes. And yet, here we are, you know. We can make the best of it. We can keep moving forward. And frankly, I think this family has a lovely perspective. And I know they'll have hard days. However, they have each other. And knowing who they are, I know they're going to be okay. And of course, we will keep a wildly close eye on them. Yeah. So that's what's going on. But anyway, that's where it kind of came up for me. Just thinking about that whole situation and how often sometimes we need to be reminded that we are doing okay, that we are loved, that somebody is cheering us on, you know, Sometimes the world is pretty good at slapping us down and telling us we suck, you know? And that's so awful. Yeah, sometimes we all need to hear it, right? You are okay. You are doing a good job. You are a good mom. A good four-legged mom. A good whatever you nurture, you know? All right. The magazine is loaded with all kinds of fun stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it. I will call your attention to Elizabeth's cosmic strip this week. It's so sweet. It is two girls, two ladies, drinking coffee, sitting around visiting. It says, my go-to spirit boosters, coffee, giggles, and good friends. I thought that was pretty great. That's probably true for many of us. I loved it. All righty. Let's see. So make sure that you take a look. The only other thing I wanted to share was Jennifer. Of course, she's the very last one, so it takes me a second. Jennifer in the Radiant Poem Project this week. She shared a poem with us, and I think she already shared it on her show yesterday. But this is David White, Sweet Darkness, as we are headed into the winter season here. It's getting dark earlier. It's getting colder. It's winter, isn't it? Is it still late fall? Maybe we're kind of at the cusp. He said, this poem again is by David White. When your eyes are tired, the world is tired also. When your vision has gone, no part of the world can find you. It's time to go into the dark, where the night has eyes to recognize its own. There you can be sure you are not beyond love. The dark will be your home tonight. The night will give you a horizon further than you can see. You must learn one thing the world was made to be free in. Give up all the other worlds except to the one which you belong. Sometimes it takes darkness and the sweet confinement of your aloneness to learn. Anything or anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you. I absolutely loved that. So she also shares a video of her reading it with a little slideshow. I love what she does with this stuff. So make sure you check out her article and all of the others. And that is Luminous this week. And as always, if you want to subscribe to Luminous, just head over to katie-weaver.com. There's a pop-up or there's a button right there where you can subscribe. And I will send you the Daily Dish, which comes out every day. That's my quick little daily reading that comes out every morning. And I will send you Luminous once a week. So that's how to get all of that stuff. Yeah. I am amazed that we're at the point now where I have been sending out the Daily Dish now for over a year. Can you believe that? My email list for the Daily Dish has started at 0 a year ago, about 12 months ago, 13 months ago, and has grown now to 800. Isn't that wild? I love it. So I get to send that out every single day, and I think it's so fun. I love the sneak peek into where we are, you know, into what's up right now. So I wanted to share the Daily Dish with you today. I'll share a link too so that you can see it. The Daily Dish is, you may have to negotiate well today for what you want. Nobody is giving up easily. Everybody needs to win. Today is not a good day for big financial decisions like buying a car or putting in an offer on a house. Work matters can be a bit prickly as well. People are feeling paranoid and competitive. Refuse to play in that kind of vibe. It's not worth your time or your energy. So that's what today reads like. So just be a little aware of all of that jazz. And then Mother Teresa says, I can do things you cannot. You can do things that I cannot. Together we can do great things. And I just thought that was a perfect quote to include today, because we've got to remember to be in the world of working together, of cooperation, of collaboration. Because when we can do that, we can create enormous miracles. And yet, when we sit in a place of needing to compete, needing to beat each other down, needing to constantly be right and be on top, nothing happens. We end up so counterproductive. We might as well be Congress. Well, we're not even going there. But, right? Let's not. Let's cooperate. Let's let your gifts and my gifts combine to create miracles. That's where I'm at with that. Okay. Congress. No, we're way too cool for that. Okay. All right, let's do a little, wow, I just lost myself entirely. Sorry. Let's do a little bit of sound therapy. I think it's good for us today. All we're going to do, I'm going to play the bowl. All I'm going to do is ask you to allow the vibration of the singing bowl to clear away anything that you are carrying that no longer serves you. Pretty easy. Nothing big. I just feel like everybody's auras seem to me to be a little bit heavy, a little bit weighed down. Collectively, you know, per normal these days, we're pretty chaotic. And I feel like overall, many of you are just, your auras are heavy. So that's all we're doing. I mean, that's not a little job, right? I shouldn't diminish it. But that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to play the bowl. I want you to just allow the vibration of the singing bowl to permeate your aura, completely dissolving and removing anything you're carrying that no longer serves you. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. A little lighter, perhaps a little freer, I hope. Sometimes a good aura clearing like that can pull what feels like 100 pounds off of you. I have heard that from you guys a lot lately, feeling like overly fatigued, overly emotionally and spiritually exhausted. We're just not going to allow it, right? No, no, no. You deserve to feel good. We all do. Okay. All right. So with that being done, I want to do one more bit of work energetically for all of us. So I want to focus for a minute on, now that we've done some clearing, doing a little bit of protecting. So I want you to just close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths here with me to get grounded and centered. And I would like you to allow a bright light to emanate from your heart. Whatever color it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be my color, right? This is whatever comes from you. And I would just like you to allow that bright light to emanate from your heart. Let it get bigger and bigger until you can completely wrap yourself up in it. Whatever color that comes through is fine. We're just going to trust that that's what you need. So we're wrapping you in this thick blanket of light to help you to stay in your comfortable frequency, to stay in your happy place, and also to allow you to have a buffer between you and the rest of the world. Once you feel that light come through, once you see yourself wrapped up in that big thick blanket of light, you can be done. And it will stay. So, out of curiosity, I would love to hear what color your light was. I'm not going to tell you what mine was till you tell me, because I'm not going to sway what you have to say. How's that? This is not a pop quiz. There's no wrong answer. But, all right. Well, let's get into some readings here for fun. Very good. Amber said, yeah, a lot lighter. And Lillian said, love, love, love the singing bowl. Right? Gotta love the singing bowls. Okay, let's see. So Quelly said, may I have a reading, please, concerning my son and his knees? So he's an athlete and he has had, I believe, an ACL tear, right? She said, any deck is fine, thank you. Let's see. Let's do ground blessed, protected, move, because I'm curious about, you know, what energetically, spiritually we need to focus on for him. And then, I feel like that's not enough though. Let's also pull a Mo Tarot card, only because I'd like to have just a peek at like what you need to know moving forward. So that's what we'll do. Do you guys do that? Do you knock on your cards? I don't know where that came from. In training long ago in how to use cards, I was always taught that you knock on your cards to knock any energy out of them from the past reading, you know, to set them free. Which always makes me laugh because I watch me and my sisters and even the kids, because they've all been trained in how to use cards. When we're playing cards, like playing pinochle, you'll see the person going to shuffle and knocking on the cards. Sometimes I do it because other people are winning, and that's not cool. You have to run get your sage then. Smudge the cards. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull 2 cards out here for you. So, one from ground blessed, protect, and move. Okay. And of course, one from Mo Tarot. Okay. All right. So the ground blessed, protected, move. I just wanted to know, like, what comfort measures is he going to need to just kind of help him move through this period. I feel like we're going to watch him a little bit for getting a little down and depressed, partly because surgery does that to people, and partly because this athletic kid just had his season ended. And when kids are done with a sport, they can get kind of depressed and down. I've seen it a lot of times. So we just want to keep an eye on that and help him to stay up and help him find ways to use his time that helps him to feel good, right? So the card actually was a boost card, and it's the music card, which just made me laugh because I thought, that's perfect. That's just perfect. Music is a powerful tool for boosting your spirit. Build a playlist that inspires you and turn it up when you need a lift. So let's just encourage him to look for songs, look for music that really helps him to feel good, that helps keep him uplifted, that really amplifies him feeling good and charged up so that he can get through this injury. Obviously, he's going to have some therapy to come as well, and probably some music, like some some amp up songs would be good for that to help keep him up and going. So, okay. And then the Mo Tarot card was the Magician card. So I feel like for him, this is about the process of therapy and rehab. That the magician, right? The magician creates magic. The magician creates miracles. Well, for your son, he has to really understand how important rehabbing this knee is going to be. That if he doesn't rehab it well, if he doesn't do what he's told to do, if he doesn't really invest himself in it, he might be done with football, you know, and any other sports he wanted to be involved in. Injuries like this can be game enders, right? So, and also he's a teenager, and we don't want to see him have a lifelong injury that just constantly bothers him. So that's what the magician is telling us, is that he's got to be insanely clear on how important it's going to be to take care of this knee. And he's going to need to have probably more than one talking to about it and lecture and helping him to stay kind of right on that path of taking care of it. Because there's a lot that you can do for him, you know, that you and Dad can do for him, but there's a lot he's going to have to do for himself, and it's not all going to be fun. I know you know. So that's where the magician is at, is on the course of rehab the next few months and helping him to stay very dedicated and motivated on that front. Okay, so I asked you guys what color your blankets came in or your lights came in as, so I wanted to share that. Jacqueline said deep red and purple. Amber said purple. Renee said pink mostly. Lillian said shimmering amber white. Oh, Elizabeth said yellow. Alishaya said lavender. Anna said yellow. Catherine said mellow yellow. We'll take it. Pamela said bright white, silver, and pearl. That's why I didn't want to give you guys a directive. I just wanted it to come through you however it was, whatever you needed, right? Maybe those of you that pulled some yellow, maybe you needed that little brightening up. Maybe those of you that pulled some pink, maybe you needed some comfort. Maybe those of you that pulled the white, the pearly, the iridescent stuff, maybe you just really needed to shine, you know? I love that. Lavender, maybe those of you that pulled lavender just needed something really magical and powerful around you. I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure. I think that the work with colors and aura colors is very subjective, and it's easy to look at a chart that someone else wrote that's their perspective about what aura colors mean, and that's fine. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I think it's pretty subjective work, and that ultimately what it means for you might not be what it means for somebody else. So I'm going to leave that conversation pretty open-ended and let you decide and ask yourself, why did I pull that color? What did it mean? Maybe it didn't mean a damn thing. You know, maybe for you all it meant was that was the color that came from you, and you don't have to go any further with it, but you decide. Okay. Moving on, let's see. Marlene said, I would love a message reading today. Things have been rough and I could use some guidance. Marlene, I noticed in my chat for the last 2 weeks that I missed you. And I'm very sorry because I know that you've been through a tough time. Last week I went, oh my gosh, how did that happen? I know you lost your dad and things have been really rough. So I want you to know that I love you and I'm sorry you've been going through this. I know it's been tough. So yes, let's pull you some cards today. Let's pull a Whispers of Love card. So I'll do that first. Ooh, my hands quit working. Okay, come on. Come on, hands. Okay. I know. I really should find a way to streamline this. It's boring for radio to have to wait for me to pull cards, but it's just kind of how it is. I just need my little fingers to be a little quicker, maybe. Let's also pull Energy Oracle, because I think that, Marlene, it might help you to have something to connect to, additional, you know, beyond what you've been doing. And I see that you've got lots of creations happening right now. You obviously have been feeling really creative and artsy. I know that's what you do for a living, so you kind of don't have a choice, right? But it looks like you've had quite a bit flow out of you, so I'm glad to see that at least. All right, here we go. All right. Whispers of Love card. Do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. It's a darling picture of what kind of looks like a little fairy taking care of a little bunny. She's got a little deer next to her. Isn't that gorgeous? Angela's cards have the most beautiful art. Yeah, totally. Okay. So, and it's always a good, you know, being in service of others. And honey, don't get me wrong. I know that you're in service of others all the time. But it is true that being in service of others sometimes is a really good way to boost yourself up. So here's what I recommend. I know you have a show this weekend, so maybe consider giving away a piece here or there, or doing a few random acts of kindness this week. You know, little stuff, paying for somebody's coffee, you know, maybe baking a treat and running it to a neighbor, just some stuff that just helps make you feel a little better, helps boost you out of your misery a little bit by doing something for somebody else. Yes. Yep. Okay. Okay. Gaia. That's the card. Gaia. Good reminder, right? Okay. And I'm going to tie it together, but here's what the card says. The primary message is stability, grounding, centered, time to reconnect, and to go outside. And it's all about the root chakra. It's going to all come together here in just a minute. Marlene, I want to do some energy work for you, and I'm hoping, yeah, I think I do. Okay. It's okay. I wanted to make sure I felt like that was okay with you. I'm feeling like it totally is. But if you'd like to jump in the chat room and give me one more little, yeah, that would be great. Okay. The crystal is garnet. The challenge, if your root's not in a good place and you're not connected to Gaia, scattered, disconnected, fear, and instability. The meditation is, Dear Gaia, please support me in grounding to the energy of the earth, reconnecting my roots, and finding my foundation. This is going to be easy. Okay. Easy, I don't know. But here's this, it's so clear to me. When a baby is born, when a child has parents, right? The child connects to the mother at the heart chakra and to the father at the root chakra. When your dad dies, or a father figure, and for some people that's a husband or a spouse or a partner of some sort, but when, if, and I mean this really, when a dad dies that you actually had a relationship to, had a connection with. So it's not always the same for everybody. So I'm not trying to put everybody in the same basket. Don't think I am. But for you, I am, because this makes sense for you. When a parent dies, when a dad dies, a part of your spirit has nowhere to go because you have been grounded to him your entire life. At least a little bit. There's a little part of your spirit, one little cord, that is going to be grounded to your father. And I experience this with people every once in a while. When they experience the death of a father or a father figure, you cannot get quite grounded and centered for a while. And when I look at your energy body, I look at that root, and there's that little bit just flapping in the wind. It has nowhere to go because that person is gone. You're not grounded to them anymore, right? And it is more of a physical ground. I mean, it's not something that seems to, you know, exist beyond the grave. Obviously, you're still connected to your father. Obviously, your spirit and his spirit are indelibly connected. But this part of you has nowhere to be right now. And it's a very unsettling feeling. It's why even, you know, at any time when your father dies, a supportive, you know, in your life kind of dad, it throws people into such a tailspin because, well, for obvious reasons. I mean, grief and everything else. But energetically, this is a huge key. So, Marlene, duh. I mean, we pulled cards to get the answer. We should have had the answer anyway. It's fine. But honey, let's fix that, right? So here's what I would like to do. I usually take that ground and I send it into a body of water or into the mountains or to something that's meaningful for you. I'm feeling very drawn to ground it into the ocean for you. And so that's what I'm going to do. So hold on, let me double check that we're good. Yes, okay, she said yes, great, perfect. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna just move into your space here and I'm going to take that part of your root and I'm going to send it deep into the ocean floor. Deeply connecting you to the energy of the ocean and to the earth, restoring the energy of that ground. Whew. That flowed all the way through you. I had chills up my spine because of the way that flowed through you, clear to your head, and then shot back down into the earth. That fixed that. Good. Okay. So I'll fix your whole root in general here too while we're at it, just to be sure. You know, the message from Gaia, of course, was also to get some time outside, but I know you're working on that, so that's good. So a little service this week just for fun to lift your spirits. That little piece is done. Let's check on that in a couple of weeks and just make sure that it is where we want it to be. I'm not worried about it necessarily, but you know, I want you to feel good because grief is hard enough. When your energy body's all out of whack, that just makes it so much worse. And you don't have to do that. No. Okay. Thank you, Marlene, for the honor of helping you out. And I'm, again, just so sorry that things have been so rough. All right. Oh, so Quelly said, yes, she said, her son is ready. It's dad that we have to get mentally prepared for this. My husband had the same thing happen to him in '96 while playing in the NFL. But times have changed as far as surgery and rehab are concerned. Yep. We're now getting close to making a decision, I think she meant, on a surgeon. Yep. Yeah, times have changed a ton. You know, one thing that you might consider helping your husband to do is visit with a physical therapist, because they are the ones that will tell you what they have seen differently from, you know, way back then up to now, as far as that surgery is concerned, rehabbing it is concerned, and the probability of being able to return to the sport. It is so much better than it used to be. So yeah, have him talk to a physical therapist. They'll give him the rundown. And also, physical therapists are a really good source of ideas about who to go to for surgery. Yeah. I know this because my sister's a PTA. We talk about this stuff all the time, but you know, they see the aftermath. And so they're the ones that will tell you, hey, do not go to that person and definitely go to this one, because they see the aftermath. They know. But I think if PT would also be able to help your husband to just feel better about the whole process and help to get him on his path of healing. So still though, really sorry that happened. It sucks. Okay, I think we can get to one more here, you guys. Let's see. That Lillian, I haven't read for you forever. She said, I would love to have a reading. All right, let's pull a Sweary Spirituality card. Not because I think you need the additional sass. Maybe you do. But because these cards are just so you. Yeah. So we'll do that, and then let's also pull a Whispers of Love card for you. Okay. One more. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Okay, here we go. All right. Good hell. I know which card I'm trying to get. I have two sticking together. There we go. Well, now you're right. We take them both. Okay. All right. So the Sweary Spirituality card said, receiving is an open and passive energy. Lean back, not forward. Hashtag manifest, then rest. That's what it says. So what that means for you is allow yourself to receive. Allow the small miracles. Allow the friendship, the kindness, the nice guy at the gas station. Allow those things. Don't lean in and worry. Lean back and just allow that stuff to come to you as it will. And be conscious and notice it. Notice those little the miracles as they happen, you know, the kindnesses that are shown, and just celebrate in those, because that's the kind of receiving that's been coming to you for a while now. And you deserve it. I feel like you emanate a joy and a love and a light that makes other people want to emanate that back to you. So notice it. Those are gifts for you. All right, the two cards. All right. The first card says, love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person deserving of all of the things life has to offer. I don't know, but I think I just said that. That's what the card says. And the other card that insisted on coming with said, be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. And I think that is exactly who you are anyway. But I'm going to flip that a little bit and say, Also allow others to be supportive and kind to you and celebrate in that. You deserve that. So, hi, Laura. Always late, but worth the wait? Nah, I'm kidding. I'm teasing you, but I'm glad you're here. So, Lillian, celebrate in all of that and recognize that you give a lot of good out to the world and you certainly deserve some good back. All right, guys. Well, you know what we do. We have talked our way down to the end of the show. I would really like to thank you guys for being here. I want to remind you that we're going to start our brand new Sunday morning stuff this week over on my Facebook page. Also, well, you'll find all the deets there, and it's in Luminous too. I don't have time to go through it all again, but it is our unchurching church for the rest of us 20-minute devotional on Sunday morning, and it'll be a live stream. So come and join me and play. It's going to be fun. Please stay tuned for one more great show here to come with Robert Underwood. It's going to be great. Hey, thanks, you guys. I will see you over at one2listen.com. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.